Hey, what's up, y'all? Thank you so much for jumping into this training. I promise you that my mission and my goal for today is that you jump in here, and if you give me your next 14 minutes and 50 seconds of your time, that I make it worth it. I hate going through these virtual trainings or these presentations where I walk in and I don't really get much value, or they just talk so much and it's just a lot of information that is not applicable. And so today, what we're going to talk about is being able to take control of operations, make it simpler to scale. I had one of my mentors tell me that the definition of scale is change. And in this business, facility services business, as you guys are growing, as we all grow, there's a lot of change that happens and it impacts the operations, the different departments. And so the key question we want to ask ourselves is, do we want to take control of operations and make it simpler to scale, make it simpler to change, make it simpler to accomplish what we want? So we're going to go ahead and talk about that. So let's go ahead and jump straight into this training. So ask yourself, how would you like to take control of sales performance, documentation, structure, account startup process, a process that needs to definitely have control, team productivity and communication, support tickets and issues, equipment supplies and cost? Again, these are just scenarios. How would you like to take control of those scenarios? So let's go ahead and jump in. After speaking with hundreds of people, and you'll get to know a little bit about us in a little bit, the biggest challenges for businesses like yours that we personally see are resources, lack of efficiency, and communication. Now, in parentheses, you see chaos versus control. We're going to go ahead and tackle what chaos versus control is. Now, key statement: chaos isn't always bad. Chaos is needed for growth. Chaos is able to identify the gaps that we need to improve, but being able to keep chaos under control is the key. That's the key. And so we're going to talk about how to keep control of your operations, still inviting a little bit of chaos in, but you having control. So if we're having chaos versus control, and the biggest challenges are resource efficiency and communication. First, let's define what chaos and control are. Chaos is disorder and confusion. If I were to go into your company and interview your team right now about their processes, how many of them would come out and identify that there's more confusion and disorder? That means we've invited chaos in, but we haven't learned to control it. Control is to have power over something, a situation, a process, a structure, a business. And so we're going to be able to tackle these things. And my whole goal is to give you valuable information that you can implement today. So, what does chaos cost us right now? One, peace. I mean, all of you have to go home, live your lives every single day. Cost us peace. Cost us time, valuable time. Time is the number one resource. Cost us money. Cost us money. It's that simple. And it cost us growth. By the way, do you like our little villain here? Chaos, peace, time, money, growth. That's exactly what it costs us when chaos is running around and we don't have control over it. So let's go ahead and talk about this. Who are we? Why should you listen to us? We're uSource. Our founder, Mr. Alexander Melgar, built a national facility services company before becoming a founder of uSource. So from 2 employees to becoming nationwide. Our product manager actually owned a subcontracting company and he handled regional accounts. And so we built this out properly. And me, myself, I'm the solutions consultant, Angel Sandoval, top podcast in the facility services called The Profitable Cleaner. So I've interviewed hundreds of operators. And for the last 5 years, I spent them in SaaS. So I appreciate technology and simple technology to scale. Let's talk about this though. 4 implementations to drive growth, strengthen your company. Again, if we can drive growth in a controlled manner, then we strengthen the foundation of your company. That way it can withhold change. Let's talk about that, because how many trainings have you gone and all they do is tell you how you do things wrong? This is a mistake. This is another mistake. This is another mistake. And you're like, cool, man, I already know. See, here's what I do know about you. You jumped into this training. You wanted to get better. You wanted knowledge. You wanted training, support, community. People like you, individuals like you, leaders like you, they know where they're wrong. They know the gaps that they need to fill because they understand that they've invited chaos in as they're growing. So my goal is to give you valuable information for you to implement and not just come in here and tell you what you did wrong. So give me the next 10 minutes. Let's drive through these implementations and let's go ahead and leave today better than we are right now. So let's get into them. 4 implementations to drive growth and strengthen your company. Here we go. First one is mindset. Oh man, Angel, you sound really woo. Everybody else talks mindset. There's a difference. See, in this industry, we all start as operators, and you always kind of stay in this operator mindset. And so, one thing every time somebody comes to us in uSource and they're trying to create structure, they're trying to move the company up. We have to. The business will never outgrow you. And so, the first shift you have to make is take yourself from the stage of I, right, which is focusing on putting out fires, reacting to problems, as you can see on stage 1. 80% of the CEO's time is spent on daily fires and operations. Now, everybody's the CEO of something. And so if you're not the CEO of the company, you're watching this training and you have people under you, you're the CEO of that department. So don't let that slide. But it's I do it. I put it out. I. That's not scalable. You are not scalable. Your company, your people, your processes are. Second, we focuses on people management and reacting to problems. So 60% of the time is spent on information consolidation and fixing the team's problem. When the team can't do it, they come to you. So the we. But the key is getting you to the they, to where if a problem arises, they got it. They do it. Because when you do that, it opens up time. It opens yourself up to focus on growth and strategy and culture. Growth and strategy can't come from your supervisor. Well, it could, but that's not their focus. They got to go run the business. And so getting you from I to they. So the first implementation is mindset. If you're still in an operator mindset, because that's how we all started, and you haven't graduated out of there, you're holding back the growth of your company. So the question you got to ask yourself is simple. What percent of my time is spent working in the business versus on the business? In the business versus on the business. Write that out. Figure out based on this what stage you're in. Because we want to take you from an operator mindset to an owner mindset. When you're able to shift from operator to owner, your team will literally thank you for it because you're leading the charge. Second one, create centralized access. Key that you see here is centralized and access. As you know, there's different moving parts. You got the owner, HR, ops, sales, your field technicians and field supervisors, management, finance, executives. There's so many different points. Most people don't have centralized, they don't have a system that centralizes everything where it creates communication for all channels, but then they don't centralize access to key information and tools needed for that role to be done. A perfect example is sales. When sales closes a deal, most of the time they are not connected to your account coordinators, to your recruiters, and to the people that are going to fill the job, the supervisors. And so they're over there writing it out on paper and giving it to someone. They're over here sending an email that a new account has been started, but there's no scope of work attached. There's no what you charge, what you're doing, the schedule. There's nothing. You need to be able to create a centralized access for your team. It's crazy. I'm going to tell you something that sounds very crazy, but there's a study done that 39% of employees now in the US could and would leave a job if they don't have the technology necessary to do their role efficiently. So now I ask you, what do I centralize? Again, I'm still going to tell you what to do here. What should I centralize? Documentation and processes. Documentation and processes. No more Google Drive. No more she has it on her computer. He has it on that email. I have it on my phone. Centralized documentation. Account and customer information for the people that need it. Have that centralized. No more, hey, what's their number? Hey, what did we have access to that information? Especially if your field supervisors out there, give them the information needed. Job information, work order information, PO numbers. Have that centralized between finance, management, operations. Like make sure that you have the right information centralized. And then just any needed data for the department. Here at uSource, we've been able to centralize documentations, accounts, jobs, equipment, supplies, all types of reporting. You can upload your own documentation. Now, we do that because lost communication leads to more problems. More problems create chaos. And so the key is control. So ask yourself these questions. How smooth is my sales to account startup handoff? You guys know that answer. Does my technology reflect the connectedness I want to create internally? A lot of people talk about culture and we're one and we're a family, but their technology is so spread out that it doesn't actually reflect connectedness. Your technology is a reflection of what you prioritize and what you value. If I'm removed from the picture, remove yourself from the picture. Can the everyday operations run on its own? Can my team have the access, the information, the data to be able to run this? If the answer is no, you're the source of information versus creating them the access to it. And that's why the question at the end becomes, am I the source of information and knowledge? You have to empower the people that are in your company to grow your company. And a lot of the times they don't even have the access to do the role and they don't have the information needed to be successful to do it. So just remember that. Create centralized access. So we shift the mindset. We create centralized access. The third one, gain visibility. Visibility is the key. Taking something from raw data into insight. Data into insight. That's two different things. Data is raw. Data is input. Analyze. Insight is output, what you get from it. So I'm going to give you some examples here if you haven't done it. A lot of the people say, hey, we do great customer service. Perfect. Client emails us an issue or my cleaner texts me an issue. Cool. Do you know your average issue to resolution time? Do you know where the average support tickets are coming from? Are you familiar which location has the most problems arising and can you almost predict? Timekeeping. A lot of people are saying, hey, are people clock in and out? Cool. But do you know how much you're paying in overtime? How much you're paying in extra missed clock outs where they forget to clock out and now your payroll is going crazy? Add that across 100 employees. Now we're spending a lot. So insight. I'll go through a few here. Supplies. Do you know which location's asking for the most and if they're still under budget? Leads. Do you know your close rates and your projections? Jobs. Do you know your budget per job and your profitability? Client visits, issues. Like whenever you go to a client visit, do you know what issues they've had, average issues, and then your average inspection grade by that location so you can get ahead of these problems? Again, turn raw data into insight. If you don't have any of this, work with what you have right now. Work with something. So ask yourself these questions. What's our average problem to solution speed? Can I pinpoint recurring issues? And will I be able to do this at the location level so that we can be proactive versus reactive? Can I project our sales performance based on readily available data? Do we have the reporting necessary to make strategic decisions for our company? And do we have insight into the areas of improvement for our team? What's not tracked can be improved, and what you can't turn into insight, you can't turn into you end up looking at hindsight. You end up looking in the past. But if you have insight, then you can turn it into vision. And the last one, 4, manage resources. When you transition from I to they, when you give the tools, the technology, the access, and when you have the insight, now as a leader, all you got to do is manage resources. You got 4 types of resources: people, time, money, and energy. People, time, money, energy. In order to manage people, give them the processes and the development needed. If you give them the processes and the development, the result or the key that we're looking for here is to increase efficiency. When I increase efficiency, I can get more output from my $60,000 a year employee than my competitors, than the other company, and so I'm able to create more money and time. Time. We got tools and structure. Does the team that have the processes and the training have the tools and the structure to open up time? Again, the key is if I increase efficiency, I open up time. If I open up time, then my money grows because now I'm getting more input and output. I'm getting more output from every employee that I have. I'm opening up time, and now we're creating more money, right? That's the key here. When we create more money, if I can clean my buildings faster, if I can turn around my accounts faster, if I can retain my clients because I've increased efficiency and opened up time, then now that the key with profitability is having the money to invest back into your team, which buys you time, which brings you back money, or prepare you to have the money to be able to fund the next project that you're getting or whatever you want to do with that money. Money's always good. Cash flow is king, right? Revenue is just for vanity, right? So we want to make sure that we have the profitability. Cash flow is king. And the last one is energy. In this business, you got to be able to sprint the marathon. It's a long business. You got to sprint it. Now, the key is a lot of people don't manage their employees' energy and they don't manage their own energy. And when you don't do that because you don't have because your team's not efficient, because you don't have the time for them, because you don't have the money to be able to invest back into them, you lower the purpose and the commitment that they have for the long run. And so the key here is, can I give them the tools, the processes, the structure, the money? Can my money survive with the cash flow that we have right now? So we could double down on the purpose and the commitment of why we started, so we can keep sprinting this marathon. So remember, when we change from I to they, you'd start going into you become a resource manager, no longer an operator. So let's just quick overview, rundown, mindset shift. If I want to drive growth and control operation, I got to turn from I to a they. Got to centralize my access, gain visibility so I can turn raw data into insight. And now I got to be able to manage my resources, which is people, time, money, and energy. If I do these 4 things, I'll be able to drive growth, control my operations, and strengthen my company. So you have 2 paths here. So if anything that I said here resonated with you, if you're like, that would be interesting, I would love to take this conversation further, learn a little bit more, check out what uSource is, maybe just have a conversation with Angel so that we can figure this out. You have 2 options here. You can continue on your current path. I'm sure you'll crush it. You'll still have to figure out the technology, the consistencies, maybe risk having the same results. Maybe you've tried it in the past, I don't know. Or you'll learn it, but it'll cost you more. Or 2, you can get supported by experts, just like we are here on uSource. You saw our team, and so we can save you some tons of time, make sure you don't waste your money, give you the technology to scale, and we do this cool thing that you only pay for what you need with our system. And so really what I wanted to offer you today, if you stuck through this training, I really do appreciate it, is basically help you schedule a free technology and operations audit. Do what we just did right now in this training. Do it for your company. Look at your tech stack, see where we can cut costs, simplify, make more money, see if there's any roadblocks with technology, or maybe you don't have control and you've invited chaos too intensely into the business. Let's find a way to keep chaos under control, and we'll give you a proven process to map out your operational improvements from lead to customer to delivery. And if you qualify and you choose to use uSource, we'll gift you 10 hours of data preparation, which can go a long way. So really, click on the link here, book a demo with me, and let's do an audit here with you. This is not really about us. This is about being able to assist you, give you the value as a thank you for showing up to this training. Thank you so much for being here, and we'll be in contact. Don't forget, click that link, book the audit, and we'll talk soon.